Being an entrepreneur requires so much and requires you to be so many things and have so many different skills. But amongst the things that it requires, I don't think we talk enough about the soft skills that is required in order to gain those hard skills that we need in order to be successful as an entrepreneur. In order to be great at sales and marketing and all this other stuff, there are some things that you need to do prior to that process. And so I want to break some of those things down as far as how I look at business and some of the things that it took me in order to get to this point, and some things that I'm still working on in order to get to the next level in my business. So the very first thing that I think is probably one of the first things that you need to be successful is courage. Courage is so necessary to get out here and start a business, especially online, because let's just be honest, it can be so scary and it can be so hard as well. One of the things that people often tell me before they even start the business is that they're afraid of what other people are going to think. That is like the biggest thing that I hear, and that's one of the things that requires so much courage from you to get over, okay? I'm just gonna be honest with you. You have to get over it. Everybody is not going to be jumping up and down, yelling for you, rooting you on when you start out on something new. People will have their opinions. Some people won't understand. Some people will even question your ability to make it happen, but you got to do it anyway. This is what I often tell people. It is your vision. It's a vision that is yours, and other people may not understand when you first tell them about it. But guess what? It's not their vision to understand. Your goal should be to work that vision and accomplish the goal that you have set in place. And once people see that you have created the thing that you once told them about, oftentimes they come around and then they jump on board. Release yourself from holding your family members or your friends accountable, or holding them to all of this pressure to support you, because sometimes they may just not, because they don't get it, they don't understand. And honey, don't have a mother or a grandmother that's from the old school and they really have not jumped onto the online bandwagon, and you go to tell them about this and they have no idea what you're talking about. Just show them with the success that you're going to have. So it's important to have that courage so that you can push through even starting, okay? I won't even get into the courage that it takes to keep going, okay? Because once you get out here, it takes courage to keep going, because so many times you can question yourself and if you're doing this right and the progress that you're making, and just questioning yourself in so many ways. It takes courage to start, and it takes courage to keep going. Now, once you finally find that courage to get up and do what it is that you set your mind to, the next thing you need to have is some confidence, okay? It takes confidence to get out here and put yourself out here online. There are so many people with so many opinions, and you have to get out here and be confident in what it is that you're doing and who you are as a person and what you are selling. You just have to be confident in yourself. If you're an online service provider or business owner that has anything to sell, confidence is going to be key in you doing that. I know a lot of times we don't like to hear the word sales because that feels so scary and so hard when it's something you haven't done before. But when you're confident in the product that you're selling, and you're confident in your expertise and your experience, and that you know what you're talking about, sales becomes so much easier, because it's not about you forcing someone to get something, right? For one, the confidence will help you not have that imposter syndrome, and it will help you to know that you can stand tall in the skills that you have in order to help someone do something. But you're not forcing someone to do anything. Your product, your service is actually going to help them move themselves along in whatever process it is that they're trying to go through. So having the confidence in yourself and the product that you're giving to them, that it will help them to get from point A to point B, the confidence is going to help you a long way in doing that. And then piggybacking on that confidence, you also need to be able to communicate well. Now, Now, communications is huge, and we are on an online platform. People are interacting with you via visuals in written format or via video where you're on here and you're talking to people. So you need to be able to clearly and concisely express yourself in words and in a written format. People need to know what you're talking about. You need to be able to explain not only your products and services, you need to be able to explain who you are, what it is you do. One of the hardest things when you first start and you have not figured out what you're really going to be doing out here is figuring out how to tell people what you do. So you got to be able to communicate that with people when they ask you about it. You should have a very concise way to explain what it is you do and it to get across to that person in a way that makes them understand, which is super important when it comes to networking with other people. That's a subcategory of communications that you need to know how to do well. You need to be able to meet people, tell them what you do, be able to relate to them on some level so that you can start some sort of relationship with them, which is networking essentially. I know a lot of times it's hard, especially for me. I'm just gonna be honest. Small talk can be so awkward, okay? There are moments where I'm jiving and my energy is up and I'm like, yes, let's do this, you know, but then that awkward silence comes and it's like, okay, let me break through that and I can do it well. But there are other times where I'm just vibing out because I can be such a quiet person sometimes and, you know, I'm not really in the mood to, you know, small talk with people or just talk in general. Now, after you've tackled the 3 C's, courage, confidence, and communication, you have to have a little ambition about yourself too. Listen, you have to have a purpose and a reason why you're out here doing this. What is your why behind your business? I know you've heard this many, many times before that you have to know your why. Your why is the thing that's going to keep you going, keep you pushing when things are not always looking good. Because let me tell you, in the beginning, when there are no results, there is no audience, there is no money, there is nothing pushing you to keep going, you have to have a reason why you continue despite not having the results that you want. And that can be one of the hardest times in your business, is simply gaining that momentum. But when you are ambitious and you have a reason why you're fighting and you're pushing for this, then you will keep going. Because the thing about it is, there is no one telling you, hey, get up, do this. Oh, it's time for you to do that. Hey, I think you better jump online today. No, you have to be a self-starter. You have to get up yourself, motivate yourself, encourage yourself, and find a reason to get up and keep creating, keep promoting, keep marketing your services, keep going live, keep putting up videos, keep writing those captions. You have to start yourself because nobody is coming to knock on your door and tell you to do this. So ambition is required if you want to have longevity. If you want to have that success, you have to be an ambitious self-starter to get up every single day and continue to pursue that goal. That's how you're finally going to get the success and get the things that you're wanting, is by in the beginning still pushing through, still showing up, still chasing something that seems to be so far off. Your ambition will keep you going if you have it, and if not, those are the people that quit and never see the success that they want. And then amidst that ambition, you have to have flexibility and adaptability and be able to change as things change. In your business, you have to know when, okay, I've tried that for this long and something about this is not working. Okay, I'm doing this, but my people are beginning to ask me for something different. You have to know when it's time to switch it up. You have to know when it's time to leave a platform because it's just not working for you, or switch up a strategy on the platform because your old one is not working. Knowing when to move on, knowing when to pivot, knowing when to try something different is so important, because you will find yourself months and and months and months and years trying to do a certain thing in a certain way on a certain platform for a certain person, and it's just not your thing. One thing that I know for sure is when you continue to show up and you continue to be ambitious and pursue the goal, that eventually the analytics, the audience, and your own inner voice will begin to tell you what's right and what's wrong. You will begin to see what's working, what's not working, and you begin to figure it out much faster. This is why you gotta have, some resilience as well. You have to have some resilience to be able to stick out the hard times, okay? It's not always going to be peaches and creams and lollipops, because if you've been online any amount of time, you see some of your favorite influencers talking about the burnout that they have experienced. Even myself, there are times to where, I have just been like, I need a break, because I'm going to be honest with you, in the beginning of building your brand online, it is a grind. It is a grind, okay? And eventually, most people hit that wall to where they have to take a break. But guess what? You have to be resilient enough to know that, okay, I'm gonna take this break, but I'm also gonna keep going. I'm gonna figure out how to adapt and create in a way that doesn't burn me out in this way, to learn how to hire somebody to do the things that I was trying to do. There are also times in our business to where, we're not making all the money, okay? It might be a quiet season for you. You have to be resilient and persevere through those times as well. So resilience is so necessary, especially when you're just figuring everything out, especially when you're just starting this thing. You gotta be resilient and know that eventually, by and by, if you continue to show up and continue to do what you need to do, that you will get to where you're trying to be. And then this probably should have been number one, to be honest with you. You gotta have some sort of work ethic about yourself, okay? You just have to, because as I said before, nobody's knocking on your door telling you to get up and do X, Y, and Z. There is no boss looking over your shoulder checking to see if you started working on this project or that project. You have to have some work ethic about yourself. When I was in corporate, even though I was done and tired of this job, honey, I eventually left to go and teach pre-K. And in corporate and at that pre-K job, I worked like I was working for my own business. It was much easier when I worked for the pre-K place, because she was a African-American female entrepreneur, and I was just super excited to be a part of the team and get under her wing to learn a little more about entrepreneurship. It was really easy to do there, but I worked my tail off, okay? I gave her everything that I could. Anything extra she asked me to do, I did it. Anything that other people didn't want to do, I would do it. I played with those children. I taught them. I went over and beyond in our programs that we did and my art installations in the classroom. Like, it was a really fun job that allowed me to be creative in a way that I hadn't been before, and I really enjoyed myself. But more than that, I understood that how you do one thing is how you do everything. So if you are lazy in your 9-to-5 job right now, don't think that you can be lazy in that 9-to-5 job and then you're just gonna come in your business and you're gonna be this hard worker and you're gonna be so ambitious. No, if you're lazy there, you're gonna be lazy in your own business. So you have to have some work ethic about yourself to say, you know what, while I'm here, I'm going to work with excellence. I'm going to give this everything that I have, because I know this is going to translate over into my own business. And then when I get people that come to work for me, they will work for me in that same manner. Work passionately, do the things that you are doing with some pride and like you are doing it in your own business, no matter who you're doing it for. I'm not saying, you got to go over and beyond. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying do it with pride so that that same thing can translate over into your business and you can reap that into your own business as well and create that vibe and create that energy in your business. If you have a 9 to 5 that you go to, do your job. You know what I'm saying? That's it. Don't be on them people job using their good internet working on your business. Okay, don't do it. I'm telling you, don't do it. And then when you get home, give your business the time that it needs. Work diligently for an hour or 2 hours or whatever that time is going to be. Then you work on your business with that same energy. For me, I like to work on my business before I actually went to work. Something about that just made me feel very bossy. And so I worked on my business 2 hours before I went to work every single day. But that work ethic is so essential, especially for this online space, because consistency is important, relevancy is important. And in order to have both of those things, you have to continuously show up in your greatness, in your excellence, and you want that to be a part of your brand and what people associate to you. So if you're doing it in your daytime job, you will do it in your own business and it will translate online. Now, if you have yet to start your business and you're still trying to figure out what it is you want to do, check out this video right here. I go in depth on some options that work great if you're still in your 9 to 5.